You're listening to the Paracasual Destiny Podcast, episode 39. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. We are broadcasting at a very strange time for us to try to fit in our busy schedules here. Normally, we broadcast every other Saturday morning, and it is Thursday evening now. We're trying to get in this episode 39.
Wednesday evening.
I'm sorry, it's Wednesday evening. Yeah, it's indicative of how my head has been spinning this week. Anyway, but we cannot hold it off any longer because of all the super exciting stuff that is actually going on in the Destiny world. In particular, the grand reveal, the August 24th reveal, which seems like ancient history now, but I wanted to certainly get everybody's sort of impression of the Destiny 2, the Witch Queen reveal.
The hype is palpable. I am so excited for the Witch Queen.
Is there anything in particular that is you're most excited for? I mean, just besides the fact that there's like finally the new DLC.
For me, it's kind of a toss-up between a new weapon type. I'm very excited about there being another new weapon type, the glaive.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we can spoil it at this point. So yeah, the glaive.
If you're somehow listening to this podcast before watching the reveal of Witch Queen from August 24th,
then you're more way more casual than we are, for sure.
Yeah, this is I cannot even fathom what kind of a person that would be.
Exactly.
I'm excited.
But the other thing
for the throne.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I'm excited for the throne world.
Yeah, and it's not just the throne world. It's actually these different parts, right? It's like
it's like a new planet basically for the Destiny universe that has like different sections.
Yeah, I gotta say,
a new location with like definitely very what looks to be very different, almost biome areas, right? We've got the swampy one, but then you've got like her like almost White Castle esque. So I think there was a lot about it that I was really besides just like the lore in general, like just the storyline and pushing the storyline, obviously I'm going to be hyped about that, but and I think my RPG roots is it and I know people use this phrase all the time, but cautiously optimistic about the weapon leveling. Did they call it forging? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, the weapon crafting, because they said as you use it, you level it up, and that just like speaks to me from my RPG roots and how that
Destiny 1 veterans will remember.
So I'm hoping that it's actually even a little more involved than, although I talk about that fondly as well, the Destiny 1, where you had to level up the weapon, you had to use it, when you got planetary materials, you used specific materials, you had to go, like you had a favorite weapon, you had to go to a certain location, you went to a certain location and farm that particular planetary materials so you could level up that favorite weapon. So I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to be even more involved than what Destiny 1 was. It kind of sounded like it was going to be, but I
think it's safe to say, Sally Bug, that it's going to be better than the Forge at that Brother Vance was running at that time.
Well, this one you can choose your own perks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm very
I'm
excited.
Even if
the
it's
other
crappy,
thing-
it's still going to be very RPG like, and I'm going to fall for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've fallen for the hype already. I always do
Hook, line,
with
and
Bungie,
sinker.
but absolutely. So
The other thing
Um,
I am really excited about for the Witch Queen, and there's so many things. You could just start listing everything they announced and say that you're really excited about it.
Sure.
But I'm really excited about the renewed focus on like the campaign of the Witch Queen.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about
the
how they want to have
legendary
like different.
mode.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
legendary
gosh.
campaign
It's
mode.
taken 7 years for them to
Right.
respond to that feedback, but it's
And
so
the
great.
scaling for
Yes.
solo players. I'm so excited about that.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
but I was, and not that it would like ever affect me. But I really like the fact that they're saying, okay, so if you're doing it and it like gets too hard, you pull a buddy in who's like way higher level than you, it's going to scale to that person's level. So that's not necessarily going to help you at all. I thought that was really super cool. I was like, yeah,
I don't know if it's based on their level. I thought it was just based on the number of people you bring in.
That could
maybe
be
I don't know
well.
if it's based on the number of people or like what their level is. Maybe a combination of the both.
Yeah.
It's like they've given the campaign and the storyline replayability, and that's always great, because that's part of their storytelling is part of the best part of the game. And sometimes it's like you do one mission, and it's like that one and done thing. So it's nice.
Yeah, and I remember in D1 doing the daily heroic mission, like kind of religiously, and I enjoyed that so much. And
yeah,
they never
revisiting
really
that.
they never really
Well, they
like,
had
captured that.
meditations, and they just but they weren't able to incentivize it in a way that made it feel fun to grind.
Yeah.
Right. I remember when, I don't remember exactly what it was called. Like the weekly heroic mission on whatever planet was highlighted. And so you had that, and I remember particularly enjoying the Baron fights on the Tangled Shore, because I just thought those were so good. And I was like, gosh, I wish those were more readily available. Because they're good fights. I liked the way they were set up, and they were all very unique to the particular boss that you were doing. So it sounds like they're bringing in some replayability. So
what does everyone think of Hive Guardians?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the Hive ghosts are. Freaky looking. They're kind of scary.
Yeah.
They're almost like starfish, like cephalopods or something weird.
Yeah.
They're almost something very Cthulhu-like, like H.P. Lovecraft. So the aesthetic I really like. I don't know what to make of Hive Guardians. I think I need to hear more of the lore about them. I haven't delved into.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
that.
Like, are they really going to be spitting back the same?
It's light versus light,
Right? Are they spitting back the same light type of things that we do to them, or is it going to be skewed a little bit? And did they revive like our guardians do? Are they going to just like revive, and we do have to do like this extra mechanic to kill the ghost? It kind of looks like it from that one cinematic,
the crushing
where the
ghost.
guardians crushing the ghost.
Oh, that's so cool looking.
So I mean, that will be interesting. Like, do you have to do that like in a finisher? Otherwise, that enemy is gonna like come back. It's gonna be. It'll be cool. I like it. I mean, it makes sense that that's kind of how the evolution would go. And it makes sense that Savathun of any of our villain characters would would come up with a way to try to get that same kind of light.
I think from a combat perspective, it's going to be really interesting, especially for players who don't necessarily like PvP. They've never really seen these abilities from that perspective. So, and I think it's just kind of like, it's a very smart way to use the game's assets, but like completely flip them and make it so that like Richard said in our chat, that it's just a nice change up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're just so used to the basic Hive AI at this point, all Destiny players that have been playing.
Yeah. Right, and nice like you said, it's just so very smart to just say, hey, look, we already have like these mechanics kind of built into. Whoa, okay. Sorry.
I already know what it's like to get tethered. But I'm not used to getting tethered in like a campaign mission or in a strike.
Yeah. Right, and not everybody plays PvP, so.
Right.
First time for everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. Now, shall we talk a little bit about the prologue to the Witch Queen? Which is
before we do, can I read you a quote and get your guys' opinion on it?
Yes.
Okay, here's the quote. I truly believe we are in and heading into the golden age of Destiny. See you soon. Good night. That was tweeted out on August 24th by one Aztecross. What do you guys think?
I think it does capture the overall hype level of the community.
I love when Aztecross, he's so innocent some of the times. He reminds me of like a little kid on Christmas morning with this stuff. And that was the one he tweeted out probably before he went to bed that night.
I will say that I watched his stream for the reveal. And he said he had barely slept the night before. Like it was Christmas.
Oh, that is so cute.
Visions of Savathun dancing in his
Oh my god.
The loyal fans of Destiny are like none other.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I agree. I think that I just have a good feeling about where the game is headed right now.
Yeah.
I
do too. I really do too.
In all honesty, and I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later on down the road, but I thought I'd bring it up because it's kind of part of the Witch Queen reveal that they're updating the light subclasses throughout the year of the Witch Queen DLC to be in line with Stasis. And I've only like semi-fully embraced how aspects and fragments actually work. And I'm kind of excited that they're making that because it's like, in a way, I feel like I've been almost too lazy with it, right? It's just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to go top tree void hunter because that's what I do. That's my comfort zone, right? So it will be it will pull me out of that comfort zone. I'm excited to like say, oh hey, we're gonna it's been like this since D1, we're gonna shake this up and we're gonna kind of like really almost feel like such a brand new game.
cross his
and
boss.
yet feel the same as well. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that one, Sally Bug. I feel like stats are going to matter and perks are going to matter, and it's just going to be so much fun. I mean, it's the natural. It's a natural progression, but it's also very innovative. Like Romance Girl was saying before about using the light against us, turning it upside down. It's like turning it around like that. Strategically, from a development point of view, very creative and even if it doesn't work, it's worth a try because it's such a good idea, you know?
Why not?
And I'm also just
Why
really
not?
curious,
Exactly.
is like how are we going to handle that? Like, are we going to just like, it's muddying the waters a little bit here too, because it's always been such a light versus dark. But wait a second, now the supposed dark side has the light, and the supposed light side has dark forces that they're using. I love this whole like how they're muddying the whole waters
the
of this
gray
light
area
versus
thing.
dark thing. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's gonna be awesome. So
All right, let's move on to the latest season impressions. And here's where the full reveal of the fact that I, unfortunately, have not played much of Season of the Lost. I did the first couple missions type things. Sally Bug, I think you're in the same boat as me because it's one of the reasons we're doing this podcast on an odd time is because we've been so busy with
our
real life
personal
stuff.
life is
Real life stuff is
real life is
crazy.
really kind coming to call.
Yeah.
Thank goodness
So,
they've removed that FOMO.
I know.
Exactly.
It's enabling us to take care of our family issues right now and help our family out. And we're away from the game because of it. But thank goodness for
That
social
being said,
media
we're
because
really
we get
looking
to
forward
keep
to-
up with it, you know,
Right.
in the
Been
community.
listening to other podcasts and watching other YouTubes
YouTubing.
and
Yep.
But I'm actually very excited to hear Romance Girl and Stego's take, and hopefully,
Thank God
Richard
they're
in
here.
our chat will give us some.
Yeah.
He's probably
Well, I
already
haven't
level
done
50.
anything
What
since
level
the
are you, Richard?
Richard, if you want to hop in to give us your impressions of season 15, you're welcome to. You don't have to. You can let us know in chat if you're still there.
So I haven't hopped in until since the reset yesterday, but we did do the story quest for week 1.
Mm-hmm. We played both new activities.
Should we go over the big reveal first?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Blanket spoiler alert to
That's
our
okay.
listeners.
And Sally Bug and Sooltime.
And Sally Bug and Sooltime,
Yeah,
but I'm
we
sure
apologize.
that you have heard.
We
the
have. We've been
news.
following our Discord and the YouTubes. And
So
Twitters.
Osiris, who has been taking the label of sus amongst the community for a while, was finally revealed to not have been Osiris at all.
I knew it.
What?
Welcome, Ghost. Perfect
Welcome,
entrance.
Ghost.
That was a lovely.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, and he called that. So as usual, I think. Yeah.
I
was
have
hoping
said
there
that it
was
was at
still a
least a
little
possibility.
Osiris, but nope, confirmed since
It is confirmed.
Yeah, since Osiris
Basically, since
season of the Hunt.
Frozen?
since he lost.
Hunt?
Right, because didn't it happen right around the same time that Sagira
Yep.
sacrificed herself?
I just couldn't remember
So
the name of that
basically-
season.
Yeah, and now it
That
brings in.
was Savathun's plan.
Yes,
Sagiri
and
was part of her plan.
right, and it brings into question.
It's been her plan all along.
It brings into question, like, is Sagira still around? Maybe, we don't know. Could have been
Really no.
smokescreen.
Maybe
Yeah, I mean, like,
used
The
like,
lore
those
kind of
deaths to get
suggested
some
that
light.
she. Yeah, the lore.
Oh, good point.
Say that again?
Sagira was just another dead ghost for Savathun to use.
The siphon.
Siphon
Also,
the light.
Spider's ghost
Right.
that is collected as well.
Oh, man.
Or
This is
right,
such
because
good story
remember,
here.
Sagira was very. I was just thinking that just like Sagira had like almost like was a special ghost, right? She wasn't just like your ordinary ghost.
Yeah, she
And
could
so I feel
detect
like-
treasure up to like 75 meters away.
Oh my god.
She was definitely ahead of her time on that one.
That's why I got her. That's why I used her. No, she was good. Just here's a good ghost, a special ghost. I think Sagira is probably the most popular ghost next to
Named Ghost.
our ghost.
Yeah,
Well,
And then I would put pulled
right.
pork in there as well.
Glint.
Glint.
Glint,
and
glint.
remember that when we first found Sagira, she actually took she got into our ghost shell
Mm-hmm.
and was
Yeah,
like
just like Oryx.
Yeah,
So-
so she kind of took our ghost. I borrowed it. Remember, she said I just
Yeah,
borrowed
I remember
your
that
shell,
one
right?
mission. Yeah, at the end of that
So,
mission, she says that. Yeah.
She was definitely a special ghost. So I'm wondering if
Savathun wanted
would
that.
use that somewhat
Maybe.
for her.
See, I had this theory that she was gonna like somehow Osiris was gonna be turned into a ghost because we don't really. I guess we'll go over that lore later, but we're unsure of the state of Osiris right now.
Right.
Right.
Anyways,
Unless
beyond
Richard,
big-
what ghost? What level are you? Just out of curiosity.
1332.
What? Oh, 1332. What seasonal level?
Yeah,
36.
36.
Not bad.
Alright.
Not bad.
Well done. Well done, sir.
Decent amount.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
Well,
gonna
if the
step
season's
away
meant to be
while
extended, I'm trying to take it slow.
That's it.
What level
Definitely the
am
best
I?
strategy right
3,
now.
4, maybe.
Wow.
But what else did we
oh.
got revealed? So Savathun reveals herself to us as Osiris.
And then the queen encases her. Our queen.
she
Queen
seems to go
Mara.
through some kind of transformation, and the queen then encases her, right? In
Yeah,
awoken
and some
technology.
kind of cocoon magic.
So I'm curious. Are you guys like on like because there's this push and pull between Ikora and Marasov now, right? Because Ikora is a bit pissed off.
Oh,
about this whole-
Ikora's
about the
very.
whole situation.
She's very angry.
And what? Right, and but Marasov is like, yeah. I mean, I get it. Savathun will like her betrayal is inevitable. I think
like Ikora needs to take some pointers from her because Marasov lost her brother and she's keeping calm about it.
Right, and Marasov is like, look, I get she's gonna betray us, but freeing her of her worm is gonna be to our benefit because it will weaken her. It will
Also,
weaken her
Bungie said
power.
until they release Witch Queen trailer.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is we do know what happens in the story, so it's a little hard to have an opinion on it because should we trust Savathun? No, she's going to make Hive Guardians. Like, we know that.
right, but do we
Maybe that's what
know,
Bungie
has
wants to
she been as like having her throne world and all that? What do we know? Has she been freed of her worm?
It
Or is that
looked for me from the reveal trailer that she had undergone a metamorphosis of sorts.
Right.
It seemed like she was emerging as a new, like a baptism. It looked like baptism, like honestly, from like the.
Didn't
reveal.
Oryx defeat his worm as well? Is that right?
No, he killed a different one. He took its power.
That was a different worm. Okay. All right.
He sword logicked another one.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I was a little bit confused on that lore.
We also just don't have, as players in the game, it's not a choose your own adventure at this point. So
Right.
No,
a
it's
lot of
it's a
choice.
guessing game. It's a guessing game. How do we get from
I
A to
will
B?
say I am just in love with beyond the politics of the season. I am in love with the aesthetics of the season. I love that we're getting more awoken portals.
I think we should have got the Awoken ship from D1 on this season pass.
Well, it's not too late. It's not too late.
Because if you go to the
on
hangar,
the
you can
season
actually see the
pass.
ship. Yeah, it's not on
Yeah.
the season pass. There's no exotic ship on there.
It's I like that they've kind of brought the Dreaming City back into the fold, because it's such a beautiful environment. I've always loved that environment and that aesthetic.
Has anyone had a chance to go into the Shattered Realm yet?
Yep, I went into it when it was bugged.
Oh no!
I don't think
no.
so. I didn't. We just did that. We did the one event that you do through the blind well, and that's. I don't think we've done anything past that. Just that once.
Yeah, we're very limited
crazy.
at this point.
There's a lot of. I hear that there's some secrets scattered throughout. We haven't gone into that deep of a dive with it, but we were able to do the mission, and it's kind of, as the name suggests, Shattered Realm, Shattered Throne. It's like taking these areas.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of just little secrets you can find.
Love it.
The first mission has you go through an ascendant version of parts of Trossland.
Oh, cool! Now I'm psyched. You guys are getting me hyped.
I'm excited to finally delve into it.
Yeah.
Once
It is amazing. It's just the visuals when you first walk in there and you see the church in the distance. I highly recommend it. It's one of the best.
We're looking different from there, though.
I'm hoping Sally Bug and I can get on Sunday night or Monday.
Glad you didn't try and get on today.
It's gonna be there for you.
Weird today. They did maintenance, and then like the matchmaking just went out of control. It won't work.
Oh, yeah. They're having some.
We were in a raid
with a launch of a big season.
Yeah, and crossplay.
We were in a Bolt Glass when it happened.
Oh shoot.
We got. We were just in it to get the catalyst for Vex. We got it though before everyone got kicked.
Well, that's good.
Oh, so well, congratulations on that.
Let's do a little recap of what's happened in the past, well, really 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks. We in the August 19th TWAB. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, in the August 13th, 8/19, this week at Bungie, they talked about legendary stasis in the kinetic slot, and I have to say, just a little bit that I played, I got I think it was a shotgun, stasis shotgun. I forget what it's called.
One on the season pass. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, has anybody had any yeah, that's it. Has anybody had any chance to use their kinetic stasis weapons?
I'm actually at the hand cannon with that new stasis perk, Headstone, and where you shoot ammo and you can get it back.
Well, Aztec Cross was going great. He was saying that's pretty cool.
I highly recommend that video. That's
especially
so cool.
If you combine it with some of the aspects and fragments, you can do some really cool stuff with it.
I would, and I hope that they do more of this element-specific perks on weapons. That would be really fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
they also did the overhaul with
I
same
have
loot
the
system.
hand cannon, but it doesn't have any stasis-specific perks to it, so I don't. It doesn't do anything if it doesn't have the perk to it. Is that correct? Like I guess it has some form
it gets
of
you stasis kills.
Yeah, that's true.
It gets you stasis kills.
And of course,
if you are using an elemental well build with your mods, maybe you'll are using stasis. You can make stasis elemental wells with a mod. You can get bonuses to your stasis weapons.
Stasis is an energy on your armor as well now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is it?
That's news.
Oh boy, now I have to get
It's a full element
Okay.
now.
Tell you what, you guys do the rest of the podcast. Sally Bug and I are going to go play some Destiny.
Oh, there's so
we have to
much
play
to
Sally
it.
Bug.
Oh my goodness.
I can't wait.
One day life will stop being crazy.
Richard, what are your thoughts on the unlimited primary ammo?
Awesome.
It's good for Grandmasters, yeah.
They also, same 14s, loot system's been overhauled as well, kind of like Zavala's. I think it's Trials is more play games now, and it benefits you that way instead of wins.
Has the
there was a whole
we were planning on talking about
right?
the Trials revamp. We could talk about that now. Let's talk about the Trials revamp. Is that in effect?
I mean, it's
when it comes back,
when it launches.
back on the 10th.
You can
right?
see his loadout now, and he's got like all the Trials loadout. Not Adept, obviously, because that's flawless.
Yeah.
But the new fusion rifle's in there, the linear one. It's stasis as well.
So there's no Trials tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it'll be Friday.
Right, because there's Iron Banner going on. Remember?
Oh
they
yeah,
said
no
there would
Trials
never
during
be
Iron
trials
Banner.
during Iron Banner.
Exactly.
Not till next weekend. We're going to let everybody power up.
And I'm going to ask Romance Girl this one. What do you think of the fact that you have to purchase the annual expansion in order to enter Trials?
I don't play a lot of Trials, so I don't know why I'm getting asked this, but I think it's probably positive to
yeah, but I know
cheaters.
you're an Aztecross fan, and he's been advocating for that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, anything that makes the players happy. I think anything to deter cheating is good.
Yeah.
They're getting Battle Eye, which is supposed to be okay, decent at least. It's something.
They also like it sounded like they're very much targeting the recovs. Right, like
they're trying to make it difficult to do.
The only type of cheating they're going to, but they're specifically looking at people who are giving up their accounts to get that recovery and then getting the account back. So they're going to be looking at those stats.
You better tell Jerome to be careful.
You're a 0.6, and then all of a sudden on a weekend getting 1.5, 2.0s. Say that again.
Warn all your friends.
Warn all your recovery friends.
Yeah. I think Battle Eye works like it's a slap on the wrist, like you get like a 6-hour ban or something like that. Then the next offense, it's like a day, and I think it's progressive. So you get warned, I think, with Battle Eye, from what I was reading about it. They are, that coupled with, I mean, the anti-cheat, the anti-recov business, but I think they're also trying to get players that suck at PvP to give Trials a try.
Yeah, I think that's why they changed the whole system of it, where it's more play games instead of win them.
Yeah.
Win rounds if you can.
Yeah, and you're getting rewarded for your time.
By going in and doing it.
Yeah, you're getting rewarded by staying in and engaging in the battles. They
make it easier too because they're lowering the match time.
The round times are going from 120 to 90 seconds. They have a freelance solo option.
It's no longer like 3 losses and you have to reset your card. You can just keep on going and keep on playing.
They nerfed the three-peak, the third-person peeking. No swords unless you have heavy ammo.
I'm calling it, just saying. And that linear fusion rifle is busted.
Which fusion rifle? Oh, the exotic one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
The Season Pass one?
People could just wait for you while they can see you about to come out around the corner.
I think the bug fix for that is going in tomorrow, they said.
Ooh. I'm not going to be able to enjoy the...
Do you guys know if Strike Playlist is going to get like Vanguard booster for points? Like, you know how Crucible is right now?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Because I don't plan on doing Gambit or Crucible to get the rocket launcher.
the new seasonal rocket launcher.
Has anybody...
I'm excited to get it.
Yeah. circling
I
back,
don't let Nicholas have it because I've been playing Crucible, but
Oh,
I just
wow.
don't like it.
circling back to the earlier TWAB, they claim that there's going to be an increase in machine gun damage, at least in PvE. And scouts and hand cannons are getting a little bit of PvE love in that 15% increase in damage against minor.
Has this happened yet or nah?
It's
It's
had
supposed to. I thought it
Yeah,
already went
I
live. I
missed
think that
That
was
had to
part
have
of
gone
the
live.
season starting.
I was going to say, you can definitely feel it in Trusty.
Yep. So I can't wait to just take my scouts into a strike or whatever or anything. Fusion's got I think this went into effect already. The Fusion's got a huge revamp, right?
Oh, yeah. Fusions with that new mod, it's basically breach and clear, but fusion rifles.
Yeah, so it's kind of is it
Oh.
season of the Fusion rifles? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, like last season was
Yes.
grenade launchers.
Yes,
this season is
okay.
fusion.
All right. I thought as
this
much.
one's
And
I
it
think
goes
it's a
with
lot better.
that fusion rifle mod. Is it the same with linear fusions as well, or is it
Yes.
only fusions?
No.
The
Uh-huh.
one at the end of the artifact slot. Yeah, it's fusion and
It's linear and
what is it?
fusion.
Particle accelerator.
I've been combining that no composure with 1K, and it's just shreds.
Mm.
Ooh,
Wow.
very neat.
Has
1 KB meta.
anyone like
It
I've
took
been
down
using
10 quicker.
how
Telesto.
far along are people in getting the exotic weapon from Arasab? What is that? Is that that's a trace
Trace
rifle?
That's a weekly quest.
Trace rifle. It's got like
Okay,
56
so
steps,
you're just
and you only can do about a couple a week.
It's time. Yeah, it's time locked.
Oh well, I'm okay with that.
A new
I mean,
way of.
they gave
I was just saying how I missed like longer term exotic quests. Like I think it gives it like a really special feeling. It has like all this
Right.
story tied to it.
how many of you are like so if you is it that if you pre-order the Witch Queen you have access to the 30th anniversary? Is that what it is? The 30th anniversary?
No, it's kind of like they do like
No,
a
that's
combo where you can
separate.
buy them. You can pre-order them both at the same time, or you do it separately. It won't work in at the same time for me, so I had to do it separately.
Mm.
Yeah, but they are separate.
But so the 30th anniversary
Yeah,
is that kind of like a separate season pass, though you can buy it.
Oh, that comes out in
It's not
December.
just
That one.
DLC.
Isn't that later?
Yeah. It's in
Yeah,
December.
I
the
thought that-
anniversary is in December. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was coming around Christmas.
December
Yeah,
7th,
December.
I think. they
Yeah,
said.
it is. It is. Has
Okay.
anybody felt
Okay.
any of the exotic nerfs or buffs that they did, like with the Anarchy or Xenophage or any of them?
Anarchy don't really feel that different, apart minus the breach and clear.
Somebody predicted that. I forget who it was. It might have been one of the YouTubers.
The ammo nerf
Okay.
is pretty severe to it, though.
The Vex Mythoclast, you can feel
Yeah.
it.
The ammo on Anarchy was nice to have like big reserves. So
People were
So
pretending.
whenever you guys are ready, we're gonna have to try and get you a Vex Mythoclast.
I know.
yeah, I know.
That 4% drop rate.
Talk
Ugh.
about meta.
Nicholas
Uh,
has had, I think, nearly 30 clears, and he hasn't had it yet.
Oh
Ooh.
no!
Oh,
Aw.
that's why he doesn't play Destiny 2 anymore.
No, he's
Poor
messing with
Rinky.
sleep band. He's just not playing it right now.
Are they in school again? Are those guys back to school?
No, when are you back at college?
Talking to Nicholas?
We're
No,
getting
Carl.
breaking news right now.
Yeah. This
Right about,
just
I
in.
This month, some point. They're
Back
supposed
to
to go
school
back.
this month
Yeah.
at some time. They should probably double check so they don't miss that date.
Breaking news.
They'll be playing Destiny. You should have been in school. Adding
Is
new.
it September already?
His mom's gonna come up and say, "Aren't you supposed to be in college?" Nope, they haven't opened up yet.
Yeah. I'm worried about my health and safety. I'm just going to sit here and keep playing Season of the Lost. I'm needed. The galaxy needs me.
We talked a little bit about Trials of Osiris, the revamp, and how about the last TWAB? And here we are
Wait,
on
wait.
the
Are we
eve of
not-
another
Are we just
TWAB.
gonna skip over the fact that there's basically skill-based matchmaking in trials now?
Oh, we should talk about that because it's contentious. It's a
You
little
can drop 'em-
contentious.
I don't know. It's not really that contentious for people who don't go flawless.
Yeah, that's more based on like wins.
But the people who go flawless are the vocal minority in the community.
Sucks to be them.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, exactly. I think
they're the
it's
ones who didn't
and
like
they
it.
stirred the pot
like,
with that. You
the
know?
higher end is, as always, the higher end. Anytime there's any level of skill-based matchmaking, how dare you do that to us? Type of thing. Like we just want to be able to.
And
they don't
maybe I
come
could
out
be
and say,
wrong
"We
with
just
this,
wanna
but
own or whatever."
No.
But Trials
But
is
it's-
supposed to be high-end, sweaty matches. That's
It also
like,
doesn't go into effect until you've already reached your first flawless chest, so it's really hard for me to feel bad about it.
right.
well,
right.
here's the thing. I could be wrong about this, but going flawless over and over it's the business, and it's not just the recubs, it's the streamers who do carries. That's how they build their
Okay,
community.
well, business is hard. That's unfortunate.
I know, but from
Right.
there, it makes it understandable that is hindering their business or what their.
I don't think it's hindering.
It's either their
will
part-time
not.
job
I think
or their
just
full-time
because
job.
If it's harder to go flawless, and by the way, it shouldn't be. It should actually even out, because if it inspires enough people to play Trials with these new changes, then it should even out.
That's what I was
It's
thinking.
actually not.
That's
not
a
that big
really
deal.
good point, because that's what I was kind of
if you
thinking.
actually widen the population, which is the biggest problem, and they would rather them widen the population without making this change, but that you're not going to widen the population without inviting lower tier players and saying it's okay to come play here.
Facts.
Right.
So all the people who used to do account recoveries, they're going to be playing themselves. It's not just going to be it's not just going to be sweaty pros playing all the time. It's not
Hopefully.
There's no more
I mean,
cheaters.
we'll see.
There's no
Is
more
that an effect on console?
free
Yeah, I know it's an
accounts.
effect on PC.
I don't think console has had a bit as big of an issue. So I think it's only PC.
Yeah.
But the account recoveries, they do not recommend it across any platform.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're definitely going to have. They're definitely going to be keeping their eye out for it. So
I'm
do it at
basically
your own
Michael
risk.
Jackson
Isn't
eating the
it
popcorn with
IP-based?
this, honestly. I can't wait to see what happens with this, because Trials is a real integral part of the legacy of this game. It's it was so important in D1, and it really put it at the top of the Twitch table, and it's huge. So it'd be nice if this gives it a shot in the arm.
Even though we played occasionally, there was a period of time where I actually got thorough enjoyment out of watching Twitch streamers doing those carries. Just the way they,
it was fun. It was fun.
the banter and just
the
listening
raffles
to them.
Sure.
Giving the other strategies and the different strategies that they had. It was, it was entertaining. So it'll be interesting to see. It's not going to be something I'm going to be doing anytime soon, because I'm already
Trials
really
streams,
behind. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have seen Trials streams like from last season, and they were still fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just saying, I don't think it's actually you can dismiss it as a whole right now. It's not in a great place, but it's not I don't think it's as bad as it was before.
Right.
Right.
I think it can only go up from here.
Well, if I don't,
I like your optimism.
if I don't have time to play next weekend, or I'm just too knackered to go in and play myself, maybe I'll catch a stream or two.
I hope the Bungie devs are listening to this.
Oh, you know they are.
You know they are, yeah.
Yeah, they want to please Sally Bug. They want to cater
It's a
to her
dedicated listener.
demographic.
They're a dedicated listener to our Rinky Dink podcast.
Rinky Dink. Oh, let's change the name from Paracasual Destiny podcast to Rinky Dink Destiny podcast. Okay.
Now we've really lost.
Which
the plot.
raid do you think they're bringing back on Witch Queen? There's supposed to be a D1 raid coming back. They haven't
We
said
don't
which
know
one
yet.
Crota's
We
End.
don't know.
I saw that's
Yeah.
more likely to be a dungeon, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
everybody
What if they
keeps
beefed it
saying
out a little
that,
bit?
And I just my memory of it, and this is what I was saying to Sooltime actually earlier, was I know people figured out how to cheese that to be able to do it with less than 6, but a lot. Is my memory wrong? Like I feel like you really needed 6 people to do that. To do those encounters, like the average.
They
people
can
needed.
always rework it or have the first 6-person dungeon.
I would like it to come back.
feel like
Oh, that's true. That
would be
true.
nice.
You could do that.
but
They could expand it.
I kind of feel like they already did rework it into a dungeon, because I feel like Pit of Heresy kind of has similar.
Proto vibes.
Similar.
Proto vibes.
Yeah.
It does, because it's deep in the moon.
A lot of people
Yeah,
prefer
right.
the Grow Armor though, so
I think if you're thinking
Right.
of
Yeah.
new players to the game, King's Fall makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But, it
King's
just
Fall
seems
is
so-
a masterpiece of a raid.
Yeah.
except the
I
jumping.
mean, not just
That's how they
because
don't like the
I
jumping.
really enjoyed.
It was
I really
fun.
enjoyed King's Fall.
I miss
But
it.
King's
just it
Fall
adds
is
to
how
the story. It adds to the
how-
lore for people who weren't around for Destiny 1. I think it helps if
Right.
we're going to be dealing with Savathun for them to know the Oryx story as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
We
Well,
got a cutscene from
I mean, I saw
the
I was
Taken
in a
King
Facebook
this
group,
season.
and there was votes on which raid would come back out of those 3, and a lot of people wanted King's Fall.
yeah, I could see that. A lot of
And then it
people.
was Wrath of
King's
the
Fall
Machine.
really does make
King's-
up for. I mean, it makes the most sense because
It was an
to reiterate
important.
what Romance Girl was saying, it's like, I mean, Oryx is Savathun's sibling, right?
Yeah, it's on theme.
So, yeah,
Man, King's
it
Fall was when the
absolutely is.
story
But
started
maybe it's
really
too on
getting
theme.
hitting its
Vault
stride.
of Glass didn't have anything to do with this season, really. So
Hmm.
That,
I mean,
that's
think
true.
about-
Maybe-
if you
maybe
think
they'll just
about
bring back
this,
another classic
Savathun-
raid that has nothing to do with it.
With Savathun now having Light and Resurrecting Hive, there's potential in there for Oryx to come back, really.
don't.
Don't go there.
Anything's possible.
That's
Don't.
true. I mean, how many times have we had Tanic? So
I mean, how many times have they said Gallahorn's not coming back, and look at the 30th anniversary?
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying?
Yeah,
True.
true that.
That is true. That is all true.
It's okay
true.
though because they're gonna nerf it.
I mean, I don't think they will anyway, but
No, I meant they're making a nerf Gallahorn.
oh, I know, I saw that. Looks awesome. I want one.
Green Stego, I'm curious if you have read any of the latest TWAB, which was, well, we're on the eve of another TWAB already, but last week's TWAB, which was the Void 3.0 announcement. There was an announcement that there's not going to be a new Dark subclass, but they're
It could be a light one.
updating the Void subclass to make it look a lot more like the current stasis structure. Well,
I'd be
I
happy if they did
love-
that with the light subclasses instead of making a new one.
right.
Mm-hmm.
What,
I love it.
Yeah,
Green
I think they're
Stego, you
gonna
like
do
that? I
with-
thought when I was watching, I was thinking of
They're
you,
doing it with
thinking,
all 3
"Oh,
of
Green
them
Stego's gonna like
before
this."
they bring back more dark.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's what we have to look forward to.
So when Green Stego has completely exhausted his mod academy, he's now going to go into aspects and fragment builds for each of the subclasses.
Aspects
so.
and Fragments Academy.
They
Green
often
Stego's Frag Academy.
interact with the mods these days.
Like that Frag Academy.
It's like Fraggle Rock.
Or just the good old fashioned Halo frag.
Sorry, RG, we interrupted you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just said that they already really interact with mods, that they've like designed it. I think that they said that with this fragment and aspect system, that it's actually easier to make mods and stuff around that and to play with or not easier, but per se, but just like they want it to be congruent.
Right.
Okay.
I really like that they're
I
giving.
just have to bring this up because I'm. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm looking at this picture on the live stream of Savathun with these wings, and now I'm starting to think that she's somehow like not just communed with the worm, but the worm has
metamorphosized.
Yeah, like turned into like we've got like a Mothra situation going on here.
Mothra alert.
So,
yeah.
So like it just like, you know, has the worm not? It's not a worm anymore.
It's thinking about the worm.
I know. Well, I'm just looking at this picture and the wings, and it's just like, I don't know. It just my brain just went there.
It's inspiring her imagination.
I think the hive are also like really insect inspired in general. So I think it's too soon to say. This could still be her breaking free of the worm. That's how I read it. I could be wrong. You could be right.
Maybe that's the only way she can get light, by eradicating the worm. So maybe that's what she wants.
I don't know. It's like a way to devour the worm and meld with it in a way to like, all right, I no longer have to feed you.
Well, she's already melded with it pretty hardcore, so I don't know how she could go deeper in that. My impression is she has exorcised the worm, but again, we don't know.
She was able to take on Osiris' form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exercising the worm, that sounds like a euphemism for diarrhea.
Ew.
Okay, anyway, moving right along. Next segment, it's time for Paracasual Loadouts.
Next segment.
Next segment is Paracasual Loadouts. Has anybody been particularly fond of this or that weapon? Have you pulled something out of the vault that you haven't used in a while? Have you rediscovered something? Have you discovered something new? I will go first on this and say that shortly before my recent hiatus from the game, this was right before Season 15 launch, I wanted to take advantage of my Season Pass boosts, and both Sallybug and I went out and finished a bunch of catalysts. Let's see, which catalyst did I do? I did Lord of Wolves was one of them. Cryosthesia I finished. The Bad Juju, Telesto, and the Deathbringer catalyst. Now here's the thing, you spend all that time getting the catalyst, and then instead of enjoying the catalyst, you move on to the next weapon that you need to get a catalyst for. So I have yet to go back and enjoy the fruits of my labor, getting all those catalysts. Anybody else have anything they want
to? Yeah, I did the same thing, so I'll just like my list. Let's see, I did Sweet Business. I also did Bad Juju, Lord of Wolves. What's that shotgun's name? The
Duality.
Fourth Horseman.
That one.
Fourth Horseman?
I did that one.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I did Fourth Horseman. I do not have Telesto, but I hadn't finished Heir Apparent, so I finished that one. I started working on the Prospector, but got bored with it. Oh, you know what I spent a long time getting the catalyst for was Fighting Lion. Working on that one. So.
And now you're a grenade launcher monster.
Right before the new season, I did the same thing.
What's your favorite way to get your catalyst done?
Ooh, that's a good question. Sallybug?
Well, and I learned this from Sooltime, but the area on the moon if you go past the Altars of Sorrow,
Lunar
and
Battlegrounds.
go into the back entrance, which is basically the entrance to the Garden of Salvation. There's a bunch of Vex that appear, and then a big boss, and you can just kind of wash, rinse, repeat that one. There's a bunch of Vex.
Multi-kills galore.
Like,
very quick. Goes very quick there.
So
and you don't have
it's
to use a raid flag. You don't have to put in the to get to Shuro Chi or anything like that.
Well,
it's
in
right
all
there.
reality, you actually can, like, if you're having issue, because I forget what the currency is. I forget what it's called, but that the moon currency that you can just put a banner down to put up your super and all your. So if you're having ammo issues, you can
Helium
just do that.
filaments.
No, I forget. What
I
it's
still
called.
prefer Altars of Sorrow.
Oh, I know. What
Altars
they're
of
called.
Sorrow
They're
is
called
good. Altars of Sorrow is
Are
good.
they the
Feeling like I'm
phantasmal
actually,
fragments? Is that what
playing
they are?
something. It's a little more interactive.
Here's the other thing I do.
I do Altars of Sorrow quite a bit too.
Yeah, Altars of Sorrow is good itself, especially if you get with just a couple of other people instead of like 6. Then you can get a lot of kills. But also just go to Shah Han, pick up his bounties, and then head right to Skywatch. Skywatch is great for getting Glimmer if you're low on Glimmer, or it's also good for XP if you put on the right ghost
and
perks.
the kills, because you almost always, I swear, it's like every 5 minutes there's an enemy moving against one another.
It's really good.
Event going on there.
So you get XP, you
that's
get
another
Glimmer,
one too.
and
especially if you get kind of like
right.
bored with the same old places, it shakes things up.
Yes, I'm very bored of chat friends, so I will take those into consideration.
Yes, yeah, it's a good place to go. Yeah, Shattered Throne. It takes a while to get to that checkpoint, right? The thrallway.
I can't be bothered trying to get to the thrallway.
Yeah, I mean,
it takes a while to get to that
I
point.
think my
actually
friend
be good
who
at the
tried to get
game,
back into the
and
game.
I cannot.
Yeah.
What was
I
that?
don't think I could
Ghost?
get there solo.
What did you say, Ghost?
I took my friend who tried to get back into Destiny through Shad. We were like 2 men in the whole way there.
Yeah.
And the wish and the quest bugs for him, so I was like, sucks to be you.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
I remember that bug.
But I mean, it was getting him loot, so he was powering up.
Yeah. Still, that's a shame.
Slowly.
Well, that's good.
That's a shame, though.
Yeah, well,
the
if
game
he's
does that at a
committed,
time.
He can join our,
Got the quest back, though.
clan.
Yeah, get him in
He's
the
just
clan.
go,
Get him in the clan.
If he's interested in coming back to the game, that is.
If he's good enough.
He plays Apex more, and that's Battle Royale, so I was like, nah.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with that when you're into that.
Why the hell did I just... Never mind.
Any, anybody else have any loadouts that they've been fond of? Or anything?
Mine's just a fusion rifle.
Richard, any new
loadout.
weapons?
Fusion rifle.
Yeah.
Any
As soon
new-
as the season started, I wanted to go straight into Prophecy Dungeon, but the drops were bugged, so I had to wait for them to fix that.
Right.
Yeah.
But once they fixed it, I went straight and got the auto and the pulse rifle, which I think are the best weapons by far from it.
Mm-hmm. I heard they're very good.
And the auto and the pulse are just really nice.
Mm.
They got like a dynamic swaying frenzy on the auto, so it's so nice.
I like a good
nice.
auto rifle when it's effective. It's so much fun.
It's 600 rounds per minute, the auto.
Nice.
Is it a kinetic or is it
Kinetic, yeah.
energy?
The pulse is an energy arc.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
It's let me see. It's a rapid fire frame. The pulse. It's really nice. Works really good in Crucible as well.
Nice.
Stego or Romance, are there anything that you've been enjoying putting in your loadout?
I tried to Lesto out in the Nightfall. We did a few Nightfalls with our clanmate Anthro.
Nice.
And
that's good to see him.
And he
in
had
there.
Radiant Dance machines. Which he pulled out at the very
before
end.
they got disabled, right?
Well, they weren't disabled in PvE.
Yeah, they're just disabled
okay,
in
cool.
Gambit and Crucible.
Yeah. So, and he had stasis on, so he was just going into like the hordes of enemies and slowing them.
Oh,
that's true.
wow.
I haven't tried that yet. I've been using
I wanna
it.
try
was
that.
amazing. It was like
I'm annoyed you
teamwork
can't change
because
the
he
shader on them.
Oh yeah, they're doing a hot fix for that, I think, with the wall hacks on the exotic linear fusion rifle.
Yeah.
So that's coming imminently.
It's amazing how quickly they can fix stuff nowadays.
They're so
Once you manage to get the Titan gauntlets as well. Yeah, no backup plans. Haven't tried them out yet.
Okay. Yeah. I went in to get the Radiant Dance machines, and then I gave up because I couldn't. They wanted me to use double primary because the way anti-barriers are set up. I think we're going to talk about that later, but
yeah, we're going to hit it up.
I backed out. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan of well, especially with the type of enemies that they have in there, and they're having you do it solo. I know I'm gonna. I usually cannot do those solo law sectors until like way further on in the season.
I just really like using special ammo weapons. I think that's a fun part of the game.
Right, right.
I specifically went into Prophecy Dungeon to get the auto and the pulse just for the barriers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
smart.
I mean, we always enjoy a good carry in the Prophecy Dungeon from you, Richard. So
I'm always available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially when the boss can just be melted.
I mean, there's so much going on right now. It's like I don't like I've got that Destiny ADD and I haven't even gotten on. Like I'm like, where do I even go? What do I do? How do I start? Which avenue do I go?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's always a good sign. Yeah, and it's good that it makes me thankful that the season is longer, so that I have a little more time to.
Yes, I have a little more time to do Master Vault Glass.
We do have a date. I don't know if we mentioned it for Witch Queen. It's February 22nd, 2022.
I get paid on that day.
22.
It's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on its way.
All right.
On the way.
Someone else who's on the way is our friend Eva Levante. Are we ready for our next segment?
Sure.
Here it
I got my silver and bright just ready for.
Here it comes. The Paracasual
I'm gonna give you that T-Rex.
Fucking
armor.
Eva Levante's Coffee Boutique.
I could use some coffee.
Okay, Eva. Me too. Eva Levante's Coffee Boutique. Now, Ghost has joined us tonight on the podcast. So just to get all the many listeners, yes, just to get all the many listeners up to date here. Yeah, Richard, what are you drinking tonight? Anything? Just water?
Apple juice.
Apple juice. Okay.
Apple juice.
Now, see, here's the thing. We're coffee drinkers. Your American friends over here. We like our coffee. But I think Eva Levante herself would totally approve of apple juice. I think she would really be...
It's either that or water. So.
Yeah, but I think Eva would be impressed with your choice.
We know the 30th anniversary is coming out in December. Do you think they're going to do that instead of the Dawning or in alignment with?
Good question.
I think it could be both.
In addition.
I think
in addition to
the 30th anniversary is I think you could pay for. I think it's like £21 over here, and
it's kind of pricey.
Yeah.
That's
so
not
it's
cheap.
like a little. It's a mini.
It comes with a
not
dungeon.
Really a DLC. It's a mini.
A new Galahorn Sparrow.
It is exactly a DLC.
And Thorn-themed armor. Hello.
Mini DLC.
I was a bit expecting like Galahorn armor, considering you get Galahorn and a Sparrow Galahorn from it, but you do.
I like the armor. It's Thorn armor, right?
It looks it looks awesome.
They want us to go into the Witch Queen looking like Thorn with the Darkness subclass equipped, crushing light bearers and literal ghosts.
No, I think I'm still going to go with Thunder Crash. I still don't like
it's light v light. It's all about light v light. That was beyond light you're thinking of with the stasis.
Well,
all right. Well, what Sooltime and I are drinking is it's the evening time, so I didn't brew a whole pot of coffee.
Of course not. We'd be up all night. In order to have
the energy to do this rare evening podcast, I ran up to our local grocery grocery store
Outlet.
and got a Starbucks Nitro cold brew. And the flavor that I got is vanilla sweet cream, and I was not disappointed. This
It's
was
so good.
quite good. And I tend to not like sweet coffee, but this had
It's not
just
very
the
sweet.
right touch of sweetness to it. It made it like almost like a dessert, right? A dessert coffee, but not like the sickly sweet, like 200-calorie coffee drinks that you can get. So one can is only 70 calories, so that kind of gives you an idea of how
Would you say it's
how much sugar's in it.
Eva Levante approved?
It reminded me, when I opened it, it reminded me of a Guinness.
Yes, it looks like
Had
it
that
because
same kind of
it's got
sound.
the
Is that
same technology.
Those are CO2s, right?
little
These are
CO2 in the bottom of it that gives it a
nitrogen
little.
infused is instead of the CO2, the little CO2 thing in there, but very similar. And when you pour it, it's got that same kind of creaminess and got a little bit of a head to it. So very good.
Are they fixing that? You guys know if they're fixing that new title you can get, Deadeye?
Deadeye
Yeah, it's a new title you can get. It's like
in Red
most
Dead
of your stuff's
Redemption.
already... No, on Destiny.
Oh, okay, we're still on Destiny.
Yeah, it's a new one, and some of your progress already carries over. It's more like precision kills and stuff like that, and the Wyvern one is bugged right now. But some people can bypass it by getting rocket kills for some weird reason.
Oh, they figured a workaround.
Is this a new title that's related to the Season of the Lost? Is that the title?
No, this is like this is just a title they brought out, and it's already got some of your progression into it already.
Oh,
it's like from previous seasons. Like my one's already at 30 out of 31, but like the precision for Wyverns don't work.
Interesting.
So some of it will already carry over. So I'm sure if you get on, you'll see what I'm on about.
That's interesting. Well, before we move on, though, do Green Stego and Romance Girl have anything to contribute to Eva's boutique? Beverage? Drink?
I mean, I just finished my coffee from earlier today.
Oh.
When I got home from work. Just a little leftover iced coffee.
Iced.
With a hint of cinnamon and chocolate. It's very nice. And then I'm just drinking water right now.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I need to get some water here pretty soon. But before we do that, Green Stego, are you ready to do a little mod talk?
I am.
All right. Let's call up the sound spot. Get it together now for Green Stego's Mod Academy. With your host, Green Stego. Here he is.
All right, Guardians. Today, we're going to cover, we're not going to go into, too much detail for a lot of things. We got a new season. So we're just going to kind of hit over a couple of things because I don't have a lot of the new mods yet, but we do have new mods incoming with this new season.
Yes.
This was already mentioned earlier today, but a stasis armor affinity has been rolled out. If you are interested in trying it out, then you can change any of your armor currently to stasis. You just use the same
interesting
enhancement upgrade module plus extra currencies to change the affinity, and you can just, if you have a solar piece of armor, then you go up there, it'll have.
Yeah, and that's not that bad, right?
Right. If you haven't leveled them up,
if you haven't masterworked it,
much,
it's not going to cost too much.
Right.
So.
No,
or leveled them up in any way.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you do that right now,
affinity. Do you have any stasis affinity armor?
I have one. The new armor set.
Mods.
Yeah. I haven't got really any of the mods yet, so keep an eye out for that, Guardians. When you're out in the wild earning some loot, you may also get a new. So the mods
drop. Do you think that there'll be any time that Banshee or Ada will be selling them?
I mean, most likely. I think most of the time they just drop. From like, say if you do activities like strikes and stuff.
Strikes and whatnot.
Do you
Yeah.
think you should be doing? Do you think
Legendary
like you got a better
armor.
chance of them dropping if you're using stasis weapons or using a stasis subclass, or does it not matter?
No,
It's probably random.
I think that by the time they get around to selling those mods, Banshee and Ada, you'll probably have unlocked almost all of them.
Yeah, they're just dropping in the wild. You haven't played yet, but they are just dropping.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You'll get some, so just keep your eyes out, and
There's also some new mods for the
take a
Ghost as well.
Yes, there are. There are new Ghost mods for hunting specific armor stat rolls.
Oh, really?
That's new.
Yeah, so you can put on an intellect mod to say like I want my randomly rolled armor pieces that drop to have that like well, you've probably noticed, but the way that armor rolls out is it has like two stats where it has like a base 10 in it, and one of those is like the top 3 and one of those is the bottom 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
and then it like adds onto that like a random amount.
Yeah.
And so this is basically solidifying one of those plus 10 bases into the stat roll of your choice. So you can say like I want it to have that plus 10 in intellect. I want it to have that plus 10 in strength.
Interesting.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So those are also dropping.
The Ghost mod. Neat. Okay. So keep your eye
You're
out for
also
those.
looking for new holster mods in your legs that auto load your stowed weapons.
That would be amazing. I'm always
That's
so
nice because
frustrated when I switch out a weapon and bring it back, and it's like, oh, now I have to go through the animation of loading this.
Guardian down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I die. Exactly.
You heard it here. Sallybug 2 hates playing the game.
Kinda.
Xenophage is a lot slower as well. You can definitely feel that nerf kind of.
Yeah, no, you can feel that one. That's rough. And that's really beneficial because the scavenger mods no longer stack. So if you got
that's right.
If you have like a build that is focused specifically on one type of weapon, like a shotgun build, and you used to stack shotgun scavengers, maybe you want to do a shotgun scavenger and a shotgun holster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's what you want to do.
Maybe.
And then of course we got this new seasonal artifact, which comes with a whole new suite of artifact mods. I'm excited to dig into that. The one that's caught everybody's eye is the particle deconstruction one for enhancing the damage on your fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles. Of note here is that it says specifically combatants, and breach and clear used to only work on champions and bosses.
So it
this
works
should
on
be-
everybody.
This, like, works on everything.
Everything.
Yeah, it looks like breach and clear as well. So when you hit them with it, they glow like purple, like with breach and clear.
Right.
And it's like a ramping up effect, so it stacks up to 5 times.
Is it like further on in the artifact, like a
Yeah, it's the final
last
slot.
Of
And
course.
just like breach and clear, it costs like a bunch of energy for the class item.
Sure.
Okay.
Like 9
This time
energy or
it's
something.
7.
Okay.
It's 7.
That's not so bad.
That's not as bad.
But there's some other stuff here. There's some bonuses to like stasis subclasses and solar subclasses. So I'm excited to dig into it. Let us know in the comments section down below if you've tried some and you've had some luck.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
what I want to talk
which
about,
seasonal artifacts have
let us know which
caught
ones are
their
your
fancy?
favorites. If you've got like a solar build that's working out well for you, or what. But what I want to talk about is these champion mods. Y'all, I'm bummed.
Yeah. You're not the only one.
I was looking at the tweet reveal when they said we got a bunch of different ways to stop unstoppable champions, and only one anti-barrier, and only one overload Well, no, sorry, there's two because there's also the sword. But the way that it works out, you can't use the sword mod and the fusion rifle mod because they cost too much energy. You have to use either unstoppable fusion rifles and a primary, or disruption blade and a primary.
I just used fusion
Almost. Yeah, the fusion rifle's the way to go because it's kind of like Season of the Fusion Rifle.
Yeah.
But most fusion rifles are like in the energy slot, except for Bastion. And if you're not looking to use these mods, if you kind of want to like get away from that and use like an exotic that has like one of these built-in champion mods, like almost all of those are in the energy slot.
Yeah.
And they're all exotic. And so if you also were thinking like, I've got this exotic fusion rifle that I want to use, then that really limits the build crafting that you can have at your disposal, because it like your exotic slot is filled up. So if you wanted to use Telesto and you wanted to also cover another champion type, then you have to use Telesto with an auto rifle, a kinetic auto rifle, or a kinetic bow.
Right.
If you were going to do like a legendary Lost Sector. And for the most part, those are going to be they're introducing more combinations where it's unstoppable and overload. So like a lot of the Lost Sectors in the Dreaming City, which have been brought into the rotation, will have unstoppable and overload champions. So that's a neat combination that hasn't been available before. But anything that is like on Europa, anything in the Cosmodrome, anything on the moon, those all have a barrier champion. And your options for barrier champions are very limited, especially if you're not using an exotic, if you're not using Ariana's Vow or the Lament. So I'm frustrated.
Also,
I'm a little frustrated
now.
Yeah, there's Scorn champions, which have an unstoppable and an overload. So that's a unique combination. And Taken champions are also unstoppable and overload. So I'm excited that they have
and
those,
this is
those new
it's a
combinations.
little frustrating, right? Because it like this has been and I know it's been a huge complaint of Romance Girl, so I'll let her chime in a bit. But it's a little frustrating, right, when they dictate to you that if you want to do these particular types of activities, they're basically pigeonholing you into like one type of loadout.
Yeah, I'm not against them having that as an option of like, if you use this loadout, you get X reward or something.
Right.
But the pigeonhole where it's like, use this and nothing else, just kind of doesn't play into the fantasy.
Well, you can't.
It really
you can't be
doesn't.
successful if you don't. You know, especially like the higher end activities, and that's just right.
Yeah, it's just nuts. And especially like if you did want to use Telesto, which you did, and first off, like you didn't even unlock the unstoppable fusion rifle yet, because like you just have to put in so many hours before you've unlocked it, and we just haven't done that yet. And so it's it's even though this is kind of like Season of the Fusion Rifle, it's hard to use Telesto. It's hard to use Merciless if that's like the build that you want. And yeah, obviously 1KV is going to shred, but you do have to, you are still limited in terms of like what you can pair that with if you want to have double champion coverage. And it sucks. And I'm going to go back to something I've said before, but these are your arms mod slots. So if you get like the new stasis mod for the arms and you're excited to try like grenade kickstart or whatever, like you can't, because that goes in the arm slot, and that's your anti-barrier and your unstoppables mod,
which you kind of have to have.
It's just a little too limiting.
Unless you like, and I mean, and they're obviously, I don't know, but if they're going to do that, they should at least have more exotic weapons that have it inherently built in so that you're increasing your options.
I think that they should have legendary weapons that have it built in.
Oh.
I think there should be specific weapons.
I think it could even be a random roll.
Yep. I think it should be a random roll. I think that in the Prophecy Dungeon, when you are rolling for the weapons of the 9, you have a chance to get the pulse rifle with a drop that has like either accurized rounds or unstoppable rounds.
Right, like this weapon is strong against unstoppable champions, right? Stuns unstoppable or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would it be cool if that could roll on the adept weapons as well?
That would be really cool if it could roll on the adept
maybe it's like guaranteed on adept weapons. Even.
Yeah, it gives them something, another thing to chase and grind for it. Do you think this was by design, Stego, or do you think this is an oversight?
I think it's just a limiting thing where they're like, well, we didn't like it on the weapons. We didn't like a weapon mod because then you couldn't use it with the exotics, and then you couldn't use whatever weapon mod. And so they were trying it on the armor, and I don't know. I just don't like it in the arm slot. I think that it should just not be in the armor at all. I think that it should be completely separate. I think it should just
on
be
the
like,
weapons.
I
think it should be on your character menu.
I was thinking maybe like if there was like some kind of combo, like Void plus Stasis can stun Overload, and like something like that.
Mm-hmm. Or going from like
because if it was by design, I would think they were going for, like, sometimes when we're going into a nightfall or something, we say, okay, who's got Overload covered? Because I've got anti-barrier. You know, we spread it out to the team, and that's what I thought maybe they were trying with this, is to get people to go in with a team so that one person does one thing and one person has the other thing covered.
Right, but the legendary lost sectors that drop the exotic gear, it only drop the exotic gear if you do it solo.
I know. Yeah.
So they clearly it
sucks.
Didn't design it around a team working together symbiotically.
Right.
I mean, there is a lot you could use if it has like all champions in, say Leviathan's Breath for Unstoppable, another bow for Overload, and then anti-barrier or Unstoppable. Again, for a pulse.
Yeah, but again, that's double primary too. That's a double primary build.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, well, I do.
Some people do, and some people really do want to.
It's
limiting. You're like, look at all of those energy weapons that you have. Look at all the special weapons that you actually have, and you've now just said, well, you don't have the opportunity to use any of these right now because you have to use.
And all of the mods that play into making special ammo, like those are all useless. It just doesn't seem like it's using the full spectrum of the game when it's like that. And it's actually regressive, because that was one of the biggest complaints of Destiny 2 vanilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you mentioned this like very like kind of in passing on your way to another point. But as a game design rule, I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm not a fan of just like off switches.
No, I agree, and I agree with you on that. Yeah,
I do not like that an unstoppable ogre or an unstoppable abomination is. There's only one thing to do with that, and it's just like you have to have your unstoppable weapon ready. Right.
Anti-barrier.
I don't like that there isn't. I don't like that there isn't like a lot of like.
I just want options, like
or options.
They need to figure out a way to get other options, or like a wombo combo type of thing. Like it
is a balance. They wanna limit you. Like Ghost said, he doesn't mind the challenge, but like so they want to like limit you in that way so that you're getting challenged. but
Yeah,
it is a
but the-
balance because I don't want to be challenged to the point where I'm not having fun.
Exactly.
Right.
And fundamentally, like the way that the champions work in these nightfalls is like you don't want to interact with them. What you want to do is as soon as you see it, you stun it and then you take it out right away. And it's not doing its like unstoppable shtick. You don't want the overload captain, like you don't want to like do this thing where you're trying to like outplay the overload captain. You want to
No, you just want to stun it.
You want to stun it ASAP and then eliminate it ASAP. And
Right.
that's I do like the idea of having this like rock paper scissors thing. I do like the idea of having like a new champion type. As a whole, I'm a fan of champions, but I would be surprised if we get to the Witch Queen and there isn't some kind of champion overhaul.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just glad there's no like overload screams because that would piss me off.
Yeah.
That would be a bear. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I can't
teleporting.
even imagine.
It's like, okay, I shot it with 1 arrow, but I need to shoot it with 3. Ah, it teleported. Now too much time has passed. I need to
Now it's on you and it's going to explode.
Was there like a perk going? I mean, like a modifier going around where like Screebs spawned smaller Screebs?
I
Oh,
don't
God.
think that would actually
Has
be
anyone-
a thing.
Has anyone seen that? I don't know if it
I've
was
seen
just a
it,
joke
yeah.
or not.
I think it
That'd
might be a
be
joke.
Like the flood from Halo. You blow one up and a bunch of
Yeah.
little ones come out of it.
Unless Bungie are
Exactly.
trying to create a horror game.
Yeah.
They seem to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I
And
think.
screams. Like little spiders crawling towards you, blowing up.
Yeah. All right.
Who knows? There might be a Grandmaster modifier where there's unstoppable.
I've really looked at what Grandmaster is this season, and I'm not going for Conqueror this season. Nope.
That's a no.
All right, I think that wraps up this mod spot.
Yeah, good mod academy as always. Green Stego, thank you very much for that. We ready for a little touch of Grimoire tonight?
Sure.
Is that going to happen, or is that? Do you want to postpone that?
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
The Paracasual Destiny podcast presents A Touch of Grimoire
With your host, Sallybug. Sallybug, take it away.
So we touched upon obviously the story, and obviously the big reveal was that, as kind of expected or suspected, Savathun has disguised herself as Osiris and or taken possession of him. And there are 2 very specific grimoires from 2 different weapons that give the 2 different points of view. One from Savathun in her possession of Osiris, and then one from Osiris's point of view while being possessed, which is very interesting. So it's like kind of trying to understand exactly, how is this working? Because obviously Osiris is kind of witnessing these interactions as Savathun is presenting herself as Osiris. So I thought we would read both of them. I'll read one and I'll let Green Stego read the other. That way he doesn't have to read both. I'll read the Savathun one, the Savathun perspective one, which comes from the Chrysura. Is that how you pronounce it? Chrysura Milo is how I'm going to pronounce it. That's my best guess. I'm going to read that. If you hear it, remove your helmet and face the closest corsair. They will know what must be done. Queen Mara. There's a saying among con artists. Half the fun is showing the mark which cup hid the ball before you take their money. Savathun understands. In her crystalline prison, she reflects on all her surreptitious winks and little nods, the risks taken and the boundaries pushed to keep herself entertained and her worm fed. Before, Osiris stumbles as he walks through the last city. Beneath his robes, something erupts in a frenzy of motion. He pauses to compose himself and then walks on, trailing careless splatters of black fluid. Before, Osiris watches the crucible match unfold. He does not cheer for either opponent. When a ghost appears to revive the defeated warrior, Osiris leans forward in careful study. When Saint places a hand on his forearm, Osiris holds impossibly still just to see what the other man will do. Before, Osiris sits by the campfire as Crow and the Guardian share a drink. Osiris watches them with rapt attention. Crow is laughing. He passes the bottle, and Osiris, hands numb, puzzles at it. His mouth hangs in a half smile before he takes a long drink, slaking a bone-deep thirst. Before, Osiris takes a shaky step forward. The high celebrant howls in the catacombs, and he hears his sister's voice buried in its roar. He feels his heart beating in his chest and is so enraptured by the sensation that he forgets to be frightened. Before, Savathun, physical form a twisting instar, emerges from the shadows and crawls over the shattered pieces of the ghost. She reaches towards the ruined man. Before, Savathun squeezes through the calcified channels of ascendant energy and manifests within the dangling Ahamkara skull. The man standing below the netting senses her appearance. His light flares as he draws his weapon with impossible speed. She has only a moment. She pushes her face down through the ropes, opens her mouth, and sings. The man stops, then slowly holsters his weapon. He turns, crosses his arms, and forgets. She melts awkwardly back into the skull as best she can, though a tangle of spindly elbows, licorice black, still juts from its sockets. She turns her attention to her quarry across the gap and hums her song softly to mask herself. Soon the man below begins to hum along with her. She smiles.
Creepy.
So kind of just a perspective of basically Savathun as she was
Really observing those ghosts, huh?
yeah, like that, watching carefully as the ghosts
That's tie-in with Witch Queen for sure.
yeah, Osiris watches them with rapt attention and looking carefully at what's going on with the ghost during the crucible match. Yeah, but just basically her just showing from her point of view as Osiris.
I'm assuming the man below the skull was Shax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
an interesting narrative with the
because
word
it says
before.
She pushes her face down through the ropes, opens her mouth, and sings.
That's got to be, yeah. In
Right.
the tower.
It does kind of like, I mean, we were talking a little bit early on about whether or not Sagira was gone, and it does say in here about the shattered ghost.
Mm-hmm. To the detriment of all the Sagira fans out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Rough list.
that's from Savathun's point of view, but also another weapon that came out, or that was again from the Cryosura Milo, which is an auto rifle. What kind of, or is it a fusion? What is it? I don't even know. I haven't gotten one yet. Anyone?
Oh, hold on. Looks like a pulse, honestly.
Oh yeah, could be a. Richard, do you have one?
It's an
It's an
auto.
auto. It's an auto.
It's an auto. I was right. All right, that's what I thought. I thought it looked like an auto rifle. All right, so there's another weapon, the Wolf Tone Draw, which is a bow, and it has some interesting lore. Stego, would you like to read that lore?
Sure. Wolf Tone Draw. Keep the string a little loose. It's supposed to sound like that. Petrovenge. The slithering dark is cold against my face. I cannot speak, cannot breathe. I reach for Sagira, but then I remember. I form a fist, but feel nothing. I am bound, and as I thrash, the images cut fissures through my mind. Someone. The awoken prince? He helps me to my feet, but still I struggle in the dark. And now she is standing, thanking him, but she uses my voice. My voice. She has stolen my form, my voice. But someone will see my failure and cast her out. They must. A glimmer of sunlight. How long has it been? Zavala looks at me, at her, considers her words, poison cloaked in wisdom. I cry out, he must know. Zavala, listen, listen, you know me. You know not to... The smell of night flowers. I am walking. She is walking through a moonlit garden, and there is Ikora, speaking, laughing, nodding. Look, Ikora, look at me. Don't you see it? Pay attention, pay attention. I taught you better than this. A woman, an exo, sits before me and sways, eyes vacant, but inside she is sinking as well. Now her voice, her true voice, humming, a gyre of sound, and the exo sways faster and faster. I hear his voice and push to the surface. Saint. No, no, no! I scream, but there is no sound. He looks into her eyes. He smiles. He reaches for me, but it is not me. Saint, that is not me. Please. Please. I am weeping, but I cannot weep. I am nothing. Only heat and hate. Only sickness and shame. Trust me, I hear my voice say. And I drown again.
Wow. That's so friggin' deep.
Does that make you feel sorry for Osiris?
Yes,
kind of
of
forced.
course.
Yeah, it was kind of forced upon him.
Ouch.
Of course.
Right. I mean, like, not only has he lost Sagira, like, this happens, like, basically in the instant he loses Sagira, right?
Mhm.
And gets overtaken. And yet he is still somewhat conscious of Savathun acting as him. And
He knows
you know,
the deal.
he can see it. He's witnessing
Yeah.
it all and has no way of like, and frustrated. It's like, how do they not see that this is not me? Like, it's just,
Be surprising if he's sane after he comes out of that shit.
the interesting, I was wondering, who do you think this a woman in exo sits before me and sways, eyes vacant.
Lakshmi.
That's what I thought it was, Lakshmi.
Aha. Oh. Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do we need to
it-
call
Sorry, it was
911?
last season.
What's actually the most chilling for me is this quote from Beyond Light lore, One Exile to Another. Osiris is sitting with Crow, and he says, "It's called the Drunken Noodle. Osiris's normally dour tone bordered on levity. Order the Long Boy Special. It's delicious."
That was
I don't get it.
That's Savathun talking.
Yeah, Savathun's been in him, so obviously
And
she's-
his plan was to bring
so
the
she-
Crow to the city,
Oh,
stuff like that.
okay. I got
She
it.
sewed that outfit for Crow, we're to believe, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
this is so creepy.
She's got her hands in everything.
Well, we've been seeing this all along, right? Savathun has been weaving through this whole thing.
She's like Loki.
And right. But yeah, it's yeah, creepy.
Very creepy.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were always like, it was like interesting because everybody heard Crow whistling Savathun's song and thought, what's going on there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
and from that
yeah.
lore, we have confirmation that Shax is compromised. We already knew he was, but we have more confirmation.
Right, because he's been singing Savathun's song. Like
Yeah.
who had like
Who hasn't?
right?
Is there
Who
anybody
hasn't
left?
Been basically in like
Saint?
no.
So when Savathun
Mithrax?
has to have been like
Mithrax.
like Mithrax. Well, maybe the fallen can't be as
Right.
We had a little hint that Crow might be a little immune to her song in the
Because he's
Hawk
awoken?
Moon quest. No, I think it's some kind of like it was like Season of the Chosen, so he was like the chosen one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you remember from the Hawk Moon quest, there was like something about that, right?
Right.
Yeah, how he's
Right.
like communing with he's like having visions.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's having
right,
visions,
yeah.
right? But he doesn't feel like drawn to it in some
maybe
way.
he's
in
the
the
next
same way.
speaker.
Ooh.
Maybe. I was
Maybe?
thinking
That would
Mithrax
be
would be a
cool.
good speaker.
I was thinking Mithrax
Yeah.
would be a good guardian.
What about
Give him a
Varix?
ghost.
Mm.
Barracks, he needs a timeout after all this. Is
I
getting
Yeah.
done.
mean, he has a timeout. He's just on Europa.
He's out there
Yeah,
in
he can stay
barren Europa with the
That's
Exo
kind of his
Stranger.
timeout.
He can run a hatchery, basically. We'll allow him to look over the hatchlings.
I wouldn't even
Will we?
allow that.
Papa Varix?
Yeah, I think he's good on Europa. We'll just leave him there.
Go back to the President of Elders.
Yeah.
Now the question is, so this is came from the last lore that we did. What is Asher Mir going to do about all of this? Is he going to like come to our rescue?
Isn't there things about him being a harpy?
Yeah, he's a friendly harpy.
Yeah.
Or he communicates through the
Yeah.
friendly harpy, one or the other.
I mean, he was like, I wonder, is he still there? Is anyone gone? I haven't even tried to go, or can you even go there? I haven't even noticed.
Yeah.
You
I'm
probably
pretty sure he
can.
still
You
can.
probably
yeah.
can. Yeah.
We probably won't
Can
see
he
Asher
play
Mir until
Override?
Oh yeah, I wonder if
They did away with FOMO.
Asher.
My
is still
guess?
there. It'd be interesting.
my guess. We don't see Asher Mir until season 2 of Witch Queen.
That's a good prediction.
Right.
Let's
That
mayonnaise
seems
jar
like
that.
they're just so
Not
random
until like May.
based on anything.
All right, so that's our lore. We see Savathun's point of view of her taking over Osiris, and then we see Osiris's point of view as Savathun presents herself as him, and he's helpless in being able to do anything about it. So some good writing, some good lore. Some of them I can't wait to like start reading that, like opening up the lore books and reading those. I kind of don't want to read them until I've like actually played and opened them myself. I haven't even gotten to I have kind of had that spoiler of the sepia animated scene with Savathun.
There's also some good dialogue. I'm not going to say anything because you guys haven't.
Right, but I won't.
We might play some of it tonight
in game, and I know Sooltime hasn't witnessed it in game either. So it's just I didn't want to talk about that, but it ties into the same thing we've just been talking about. So
yeah.
But
in our upcoming segment, there might be some spoiler alert reason behind that.
Yeah.
But,
so for anybody who has gotten as far as we have.
I think Sooltime and Sallybug are the only ones who haven't played much.
But, if there happen to be any listeners out there who haven't touched upon it yet, just be aware.
Buyer beware.
Right.
So what's up next, Sallybug?
It's all you.
All right.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Destiny sound check.
Okay, so the obvious choice for this episode's Destiny sound check was the voice of Savathun. Does anybody know who does Savathun's voice? That's correct. It's Debra Wilson. Debra Wilson, also known as Debra Wilson Skelton, or Deborah Skelton, is an American actress, comedian, television presenter. She's done some movies and TV all over the place. She's known for being the longest-serving original cast member on the sketch comedy series Mad TV. Now, Mad TV might be a little bit before Richard's time, but Cassia, Romance, and Daniel, do you guys remember Mad TV? No?
I wasn't a regular viewer.
Okay, but you do remember it. All I remember is I couldn't believe that this was the same person doing the voice of Savathun, who used to imitate Whitney Houston on this comedy show, Mad TV. She did a really great impersonation of her and was able to sing like Whitney Houston too. So this woman is amazingly talented. She's also done work for things like Avatar, American Dad, Family Guy, Hoodwinked 2, Hood vs. Evil, The Proud Family, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and The Boondocks. Her voice acting in video games includes Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and of course, Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, as the voice of Savathun. So let's give a listen to Debra as Savathun.
Who is Savathun, you ask? You already know. Oh, guardian mine. I am your friend. I tried to protect you from the Black Fleet. You called it interference. Don't worry. I was not offended. Instead, I found a form more pleasing to your eyes. Osiris was lost, lightless. I saved him from Xivu-Arath and assumed his shape so I could guide your victory against her. I ferried the reborn prince to your city so he could be redeemed. I protected Zavala from Kaido's ambitions, ending a war before it could even begin. I delivered the House of Light on its knees to Ikora. I unmasked the enemies lurking inside your city's walls and destroyed them. You may disagree with my methods, but you can't argue with results. I am no villain, and you are no hero. We are Paracasual.
And we are the Paracasual Destiny podcast. That was Debra Wilson in a spoiler alert performance as the voice of Savathun. And so, Sally Bug, you may not want to listen to that replay until after you've played a little more. I think you're muted.
She is amazing, though.
She is just.
I really enjoyed her performance.
She did an absolutely amazing. I had seen
super
that,
talented
cut scene. I saw it on a lore video that I watched, and they played it without a spoiler warning, which kind of annoyed me, but that's all right.
Right.
But yeah, I love how it, and the voice actress does such a good job. And the writing obviously did such a good job of like how they weave into saying, look at all of this that I orchestrated for you. Like this was all me. Like that, like you guys had nothing to do with this. I did everything here.
Yeah.
I know. And the way that just her voice and the way she tells it, you just like get so hooked in. You're like, yeah, oh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did. We're on your side.
It's like I can feel you lying to me and manipulating me, but it's like I'm observing it happening. I'm observing me believing you.
Yeah.
Right,
This
exactly.
is, and there was a Kotaku article
so well acted.
Yeah, the Kotaku article that said, is it possible for voice acting to be too good? Because it turns out, I guess there was a large number of people demanding a refund from Destiny 2 because they felt cheated, that they were manipulated to do all these things. That's a testament to good voice acting, I think, when you have a problem like that. Okay. Moving from Debra Wilson to some
non-Destiny media consumption.
You heard it, folks. Non-Destiny stuff. What have you been doing outside of the game? And I'd like to start with Ghost, if you're still here. Ghost?
Yeah, of course I'm still here. Yeah,
yes.
Me and Palin watched that new Witcher animated movie that's on Netflix. Thought it was great.
Ooh.
I haven't seen it yet.
Ooh, was it good?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah.
Okay, so thumbs up.
I don't want to say too many spoilers.
All right,
but it's probably a good thing to watch before second season of Witcher.
Okay.
All right.
So you recommend
good advice. Good advice.
Yeah, I think it was really good.
It looks so cool.
And then I'm all caught up on the anime My Hero Academia now, so
you're all caught up.
What do you think of the latest episodes? We've been kind of like
amazing.
Disappointed.
What?
Yeah,
I think they're pretty good. Yeah. I got a new favorite fight.
If you're pleased, then I'm pleased.
It was Endeavor versus Anomu. That fight was awesome.
And that's the one you're on. Okay, you're a little behind me then.
No, I'm all caught up. I just said that's like my favorite fight.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely one of the top episodes.
The development he's getting is amazing.
Yeah, Endeavor is pretty cool.
He's a lot more fleshed out now. We're getting a lot more layers of Endeavor.
Right.
Used to just be like the number 2 hero.
Stego, what have you been watching?
Just recently watched the season 2 of Primal, and by season 2 I mean I guess the second half of season 1. But the latest episodes of Primal by famous animator Gendy Tartakovsky. Those of you who are familiar with Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, or the first animated Clone Wars will be familiar with that animation style. And Primal's a lot of fun.
Fun's an interesting adjective for it.
Yeah, it's deep,
brutal.
it's emotional, it's brutal. It's not like for children.
And there's no dialogue.
Oh, interesting.
No dialogue. It follows. Yeah, sorry. It follows. No, go ahead.
It follows a cave-dwelling human and his relationship with a dinosaur.
I think I've seen something about that.
They go on like adventures together. They're like surviving the brutal wild together.
Yeah, they're called Spear and Fang.
And very highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And we've also been watching Revolutionary Girl Utena, a rewatch. One of our favorite animes. It's a shoujo anime.
Shoujo. Yeah. Nice. All right. Sally Bug? Anything?
Oh my gosh, I mean,
we haven't had time.
Real world life has been so all consuming, but one thing I did do while I was just trying to like shut my mind off and lay down and cool off was I started watching Staged, which is a British series with David Tennant, and it's set around the actors so David Tennant plays David Tennant, and I forget who else is in it, but the premise is they were supposed to be they had agreed to do a play, and they were getting ready to rehearse for a play, and then the lockdown happened, and what are they going to do now, and how are they going to kind of stay relevant? And the idea behind it was let's still rehearse. Let's rehearse in this COVID world using Zoom, and just the type
kind of like a documentary.
No, it's
or is it like fictionalized?
It's fictionalized. It's definitely fictionalized, but it's fictionalized around their real life, right? So his wife will gonna make an appearance in the scene, and it's his real life wife, and they talk about their real life kids, because I think it's staged around their own houses, right? Because I think it was done during COVID.
Is it scripted?
It's kind of hard to tell, which makes it, that now you can say it's good. I think at times it seems scripted, right? This is like they definitely, right? They definitely, it could be a mixture too. Like I think sometimes it's like, yeah, that definitely was scripted. They came up with it, but then there's other times when it's like, okay, that felt like improv, like an improv conversation that they were having. So I only got a few episodes in, but I enjoyed it. I really like David Tennant as an actor, so that's kind of what drew me to it. So I got a few episodes in. I don't think they're very long. I think each one is only like 20 minutes or so. But I could be wrong. They probably could be 50 minutes and I wouldn't know, because that's how my life is going right now. But I enjoyed it. It was lighthearted and not too, not too engulfing.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of been doing the opposite. I went down sort of an Afghanistan war rabbit hole, watching movies like Restrepo and Outpost and that pretty heavy-handed stuff. But I don't watch war movies very often, and I found these to be, I don't know why that was resonating with me, maybe because of current events or whatever, or something that I've been putting off for a while. But I'm going to recommend a free movie on Tubi. It's on the Tubi app, which is free, and it's called Conjoined, and it is a campy, indie, dark humor, horror, directed by kind of an acquaintance of mine, Joe Grasaffi, who is a Texas, I think Austin-based or Houston, maybe Houston-based film director, who has done a string of these sort of campy indie films that use local actors. And Conjoined is a story about a fella who marries a woman who is kind of a Siamese twin. She's joined at the hip to a sister, and a lot of gruesome mayhem ensues. So if you're in the mood for something weird and bizarre, Conjoined, it's free on Tubi. And that is my non-Destiny media consumption contribution for this episode. I think it's time to sign off and get on with our lives.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I was enjoying the distraction actually.
Yes, this has been great for Sallybug and Sooltime to get a little distracted from our real world things that we are dealing with right now. Destiny is a good vehicle for that. Unfortunately, we haven't had too much time to play. Hopefully we can remedy that soon as things become settled and we get into the groove of the school year and the groove of everything else and be back with our friends playing Destiny more often with a little more regularity. So any last words before we sign off on?
We will, for sure.
Yeah, we will.
Survive the truth.
Try the truth. I'd like to thank Ghost for coming on and hanging out with us through to the end. Really appreciate it. You are most welcome anytime, and your insight, because let's face it, you take the casual out of Paracasual a lot of the time, because you definitely are much more hardcore than we are, and we appreciate your insight always into the game and your opinions about what is happening in the world of Destiny 2. So, with that, I am going to say join us live on YouTube, normally every other Saturday, but we'll see. Stay tuned to our Twitter or whatever, and you can listen to us anytime on the platform of your choice. We archive the audio of this to all the podcast outlets, so you can find us there. Anyway, so from Sooltime and the gang, it is goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Good evening. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Sooltime signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Take care. Get some sleep.
Maybe.